Hi, everybody. It's Stacey Silva with Salon Today Conversations, and today I'm with V's, and you guys are in Scottsdale. Is that where you are today? Because I know you have lots of locations.
Yeah, we're in Phoenix.
You're in
So,
Phoenix.
yeah.
And I've got Jim Valenzuela and Emily Brown. Say hi, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
And we are talking about how you celebrate your team members. I had sent out an email to readers recently and inviting them to share how they celebrate team members for certain anniversaries or any other special things that are going on in their lives. And you guys responded with some clever ideas. So there are actually some things we might want to show and tell. So kick us off and first off, tell people a little bit about V's.
Well, V's is a upscale men and boys barbershop, an authentic barbershop that is harkened back to back days when barbershops proliferated across the country. And we took that model 22 years ago and started placing them around Phoenix. And then subsequently, we moved across the country and opening them. We've got 54 stores, open stores now, got some more in the pipeline to go. We have not changed our stripes in 22 years. Certainly, we've upgraded tremendously in the tech area and in the conduct of business, but it still remains the same concept. It's an authentic, upscale men's barbershop for men and boys. And we have no plans on changing that. We like what we do, and we think there's a market for it where people enjoy going to a really well done, civil, nicely appointed, clean barbershop.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of yours are franchised, and then you own some too.
I don't. I sold my remaining stores that I own, and we decided to concentrate on the franchise space. I kind of looked at it, Stacey, like if I was going to have franchises, they deserve our best effort, not to be detracted by our own stores. And so we concentrated on that. I mean, I felt like a player coach at times when I owned the stores, and I just wanted to be a coach. And we'll help the other players do their best.
But we also sold after 20 years of actually running shops. So with 20 years of a base of knowing the ins and outs of the day-to-day, there's really no better background. So in terms of being a franchisor, we've done it all.
So you understand their challenges and their opportunities, and I can sympathize with that. But now you've switched over to coaching them to be successful.
Well,
so
we have.
We're on the topic of celebrations. What are some of the things you guys do to celebrate people for their achievements, and at what point do you start celebrating?
Well, we have a number of different things we've done through the years. I mean, in the beginning, cash was king, and so with one store, two stores, three stores, you would spot bonus or certainly give them a Christmas bonus every year in cash, and try to bring them some recognition that way. And it worked. As we got bigger, it became a bit, logistically impossible to do. So we started to put our minds together. How can we recognize staff in a meaningful way, in a whimsy way, in a funny way, in a practical way, in a useful way in their course of cutting hair or shaving? And so the first thing we did is recognize those who had been in our system for a long time. We came up with a PIN program for 1, 5, 10, 15, and now 20-year employees. And they wear, all of our barbers are in uniform. And so they wear those pins proudly. And we expect them to wear them. I think that there's more value. You look over and your barber's got a 20-year pin working at that barber chair, for that long length of time.
Right.
It brings some comfort. The guy's a pro and he's been doing it for us for that long. So that became really kind of the first step, how to recognize them. But it was very small. And then we started to realize, as the company prospered and grew, how can we bring a smile to their face, lighten their day? Certainly you could go crazy, but, we started to get up to 400 or 500 barbers. The leather jacket thing wasn't going to work. And we learned a lot, we're going to send everybody polo shirts or t-shirts in logoed and somehow meaningful for the gift. Now you're dealing with sizes, and you're dealing with gender, and you're dealing with, a lot of logistical things. And so we started to concentrate more on the practical end. What can they use on a daily basis? And we've had brainstorming sessions that are, pretty wide ranging. They're like, that's funny, it will never sell, it will never fly, no, that's too irreverent. Or, something that is like every day. So like one of the first things we came up with is everybody's drinking a lot more water than we did as kids. So one of the first things we did was put together a gift to all the barbers, all the active barbers in the system, a water bottle. And we decided to change our logo up a bit. Instead of it being called V's Barbershop Established, which is our base logo, we went V's Barbershop Certified. You're a certified barber at V's. And so, and we kind of controlled the inventory of that because we didn't want them going out to, oh, I got a brother, he'd love to have a water bottle, or my wife wants a water bottle. No, this is for the barbers. We want it to be exclusive to them.
They have to earn it.
Gotta earn it, gotta be there.
And it has to be something that they all valued and appreciated, we listen to them. So when we're in the shop and they're saying, hey, I want to wear my ball cap. Well, we came up with a ball cap that's just for them, that they could wear. And we've done ball caps. Stocking caps were really big a while back. So we did a whole stocking cap program. Just whether it be something for their tools, whether it be something that is wearable but not sizable, whether it be trendy stuff that comes out, we're kind of always paying attention to what those things are. And it's just like anything else. Some people love one thing more than they love the other, but the whole premise is you've got to be a V's barber to be recognized in that way. You can't order them off the website. They'll never be available with e-commerce. They'll never be just buy it off the shelf. It's a very limited production. Most of them are proud to have that swag.
Well, it's nice because it also turns that into a marketing effort for you all as well, because when they're out and about in their communities and they've got on their hat, they're marketing at the same time.
If it's cool enough, it's a marketing effort. It's got to be cool enough for them.
And one of the things we've done from day one, I'm a big ball cap guy, and you can't see it here in our office. We probably got 100 caps, different versions of caps we've done over the years for retail. I allow the guys to wear, and gals, to wear caps in the stores as long as it's a V's cap, and they do. It's kind of counterintuitive to wear a cap in a barbershop, right? You want to show off your haircut, but I've always dug ball caps, and so if they want to wear it, do it.
Great.
So that was one of the very first things that we really launched nationally, which was different for us from a thinking process. Was okay, now we don't have just a few shops, we've got all of our barbers nationwide. And so putting that program together, and handwritten notes from Jim, and hand packaged packages going to each individual shop, most of the time stickered, so they know, like, oh, this is special, this is from Jim and the team up at headquarters. That was kind of our first effort in nationally recognizing our staff. Then that transitioned into a couple of different programs. One was we have a biannual summit. So we started thinking about how do we recognize people bigger? And I'll let Jim talk about that. But we've got our summit, and then we also started developing a team of barbers that we utilize in a different way. So what that little project became 2 bigger projects, and I'll let you expand.
Yeah, so another way we did it before I launch into the summit, you'd be surprised by how much goodwill you can get when we get inundated with product. Manufacturers want to send us stuff. Can you put it on the shelves? Can you retail it for us? And it's a tsunami of products. I mean, back when we first started, American Crew, Jack Black, a very limited number of products that were geared towards barbershops. Now there's thousands.
Yeah.
So, we have to wade through all those, but when we find something that's cool and different and packaged well and fits within our brand, we'll ask them for samples, full-size samples that we'll send to different stores. And when they get those, they're like, oh, wow, we must be special. And, why would they send it to us? Well, because we value your opinion and you guys are doing a good job. And so they became, people out there on the firing line saying, does this work? And more often than not, it comes back like, no, this isn't us. I can't use this because of this reason or that reason. But the point is they've been recognized, and we listen to their feedback. And some of the stuff, when it becomes a nationwide carry on all of our shelves, they realize we tested that stuff. And it kind of builds some of that, camaraderie, the esprit de corps, where you feel like I'm partisan.
You've got to buy in before it's on the shelf.
Yeah, I mean, we got hundreds of barbers. Why not get an expert opinion?
Right.
Instead of me, grabbing a bottle of shampoo, man, it smells great. That's not a very good test. Let's get people out there actually using it on on their patrons and judge their feedback. So we did that, and then Emily somehow talked me into a summit. We do it every other year, and we bring everybody to Phoenix. And well, thinking our way through that, it started out very small, and now it's gotten quite a bit bigger. It's pretty big. How do we recognize those who have contributed to our system in a meaningful way? I mean, all-star, big-time barbers. They helped us build the brand. Without them, we probably wouldn't have made it. So we were thinking of a very meaningful gift, something that they could cherish and that would last, not some batty idea that would just, be here today. Oh, that's great. Another backpack, another keychain.
Another glass trophy,
Yeah,
another plaque.
Right.
Like, ooh.
Something. So we surprised them in our previous summit by putting our heads together and said, well, what stands out? And to me, and actually it was another guy in the firm that brought it up, and also to me, what stood out was Letterman's jackets. Unique, you have to earn it. You just can't go buy a Letterman's jacket and put, your school letter on it. You got to earn the letter first. And so we went through and we developed over a month. It took us a couple weeks to a month. A Letterman's jacket that we give out to
I
our
love it.
best of the best. And it's got the year that they win the award, the year we started the company. It's got our logo on the back. And so,
And the ability to patch and earn additional recognition. This is the platform.
right. So they hit a 30-year mark. We'll probably add something to their jacket. And so we notice, I wish we were in a colder climate because we notice it more. But the jackets that we have given out, and they're wearing them, and they're wearing them with pride, and they're cool, and you can't buy them. So
Right.
unique gift. Pretty proud of that one. It's got us a lot of goodwill, and we give those not only to barbers, but to other people in the company that have really proven themselves. We gave Emily one. I don't know why, but we did, and but we gave Emily one because her contributions to the system, our company, are profound. And so we look for that very special, very limited, big time recognition. When I gave them out the first jackets at the summit, I was in tears because it meant that much to have these people along on my ride.
They were 20-year barbers. They were, really heartfelt contributors to the brand. These were really special pieces of recognition that we can then build on. And it was a buzz around the room. People were talking about how those people received those jackets. And we know this coming summit in 2022, there will be, expectation, and people will be thinking about who's going to get the jacket. And we gave out more than one. We gave out, I think, 4 or 5. This is not something that we'll give out 10 a year. It's going to be very select. So to have these jacket, it really means something special.
And then we did complimentary to that. Some of the owners got jackets, a couple of them got jackets, but we also gave away, as most systems do, shop of the year or some, the best of these. And we recognize those people with unique gifts, not something that we could go, once again, to go get something off a shelf, go have it, engraved, and then they hang it. No, this had to be uniquely something from us. And so we put together, it was an embroidered logo from us with really specialized type of presentation that they can hang in their shop. And, it brings a lot of goodwill because the barbers, we gave it to the owner, but the barbers walk in, look, we're the best out of all the shops.
We're the best. Yeah.
And that works. And we've thought about doing it on the back of their barber jackets, so that when they're turned around and facing the patrons that are sitting waiting, they can recognize, best of the best V's got to offer, something along that line. And that's pretty valuable real estate, the back of a barber jacket, because everybody's going to see it while they're waiting. So we're playing with that. At some point, that will probably make a showing in our world. We've also played around, and others have done this, certainly, really upscale barber jackets for very special reasons. The Letterman's jacket you wear on a cold day, but your barber jacket you wear to work. Now, we've struggled with that because we don't want to really in-shop really single out one performer because we think that the patrons will say, I want to sit in that guy's chair. And so
Yeah.
we've had to, kind of pump the brakes a bit on that, but we'll get it right. And at some point we'll come out with a program. So
for the Letterman's Jacket, how do you decide who gets it? Is there a committee? Do the owners nominate a barber from their location and tell you why they think they deserve him? I mean, how do you pick out who's honored?
well, it's like most things, these we sit around the table we're at right now and we just discuss. I mean, we why not, how come, what has he done, what has she done, do they deserve it? And we start to narrow down that list. We don't ask for outside input because we don't know what the answers we're going to get back. We'll be giving out 15 of those. My lead barber needs one of those jackets. Well, he's been here for 4 years. The other guy's been here for 20.
We do get input though. I mean, people will ask about it, but at the end of the day, I think what makes us different is that Jim's walking into the stores, or I'm walking into the stores, our team is walking into stores. A lot of people don't believe it, but we actually know most of our barbers. And if we don't, we're going to, because we're going to walk in the door. I spend a lot of time traveling. We spend a lot of time going in and out of stores. Those that are spectacular, we know them and we know their stories. We know their families. We know a lot of, maybe we might even know their clients, but we know their owners. We're much more intimately involved than I think many people assume a franchisor would be. So it's really, the conversations are easy. They're not, oh my gosh, who's out there? We know who's out there, and these are jackets that are going to people that have been with us and have really made an impression and an impact. So we're not printing a report and looking at the top 10 performers. We know who those performers are, and we're talking about where those people are at the end of a year or two and talking about that story. That makes
how have they affected the brand?
Right.
Yeah.
More than revenue.
Right.
We had a vision 22 years ago of doing this. Is that the kind of person that I had in mind all those years ago? Not unlike a Hall of Fame. Not everybody gets in the Hall of Fame. A lot of people say I'm worthy. Very, very few get in. I want it to be that exclusive. I want it to mean something.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing we've done is we have scoured all of our staff members and we've put together a list of, I don't know, what's it up to? 6, 8?
6 now, probably soon to be 8 after the next summit. But it's exclusive and there is no number.
So it's our elite team, we call it. These are the people very much part of the group that will be getting a jacket at some point. But these are the best we have to offer in a number of different ways, whether that be skill behind the chair, personality, love of the brand. And we use these elite team to go help us open stores because the one thing we've done with these is I'm not a barber. I've never had a philosophy of cutting hair. I have had a philosophy of how to treat people. And that's the most important thing we can impart. These are all licensed professionals. We assume that they can cut hair and we assume that they can shave or learn to shave. But not everybody is imbued with that yes ma'am, no sir mentality. It's a service business. Cleanliness works. Friendliness works. Being kind to children works. Having a mom come in a barbershop, a real barbershop, with a little boy for the first time is a nerve-wracking experience for mom. She doesn't know if the kid's going to yell or not. We want people to be cognizant of that and welcoming of that and laughing about it and getting the little boy's hair and putting it in a bag or a certificate saying first haircut at a barbershop. Those are the memorable experiences that set us apart and that last forever. They're timeless. And so how we go and notice those people that are doing that, we invite them to be on our V's Elite team. And we'll take them across the country and we'll pay for all of their expenses and we'll actually pay them to be there because they're missing work. And we'll let them, preach our gospel in their words. Mm-hmm. They're on the firing line. Mm-hmm. And we want them to tell their stories. And we want them to say, hey, listen, the best barbers that you want to make a lot of money in V's, show up on time, be kind, be clean, care, ask about the haircut before you embark on it, before you start on it, ask the patron to be satisfied, do the little things that really are common sense and actually add to their pocket. You know, you give a great service at a barbershop, our patrons are extremely grateful and generous with their haircut. We've seen it, you know, many hundreds, thousands of times. But you don't get that big tip. You don't get that recognition from the guy sitting in the chair by going through it, you know, halfway. And so this team of barbers don't do that. They're terrific. They're brand ambassadors. They spread what the brand, the way we want it to be spread. And so we recognize them.
And
we
it's
send them
very
across.
smart to send them out and say, this is the way I'm successful as a barber. They listen to them differently than they would listen to you as the
Right.
corporation.
Right. And the other thing is, we're not teaching barbers how to shave, and we're rarely teaching them, you know, trendy cuts. There's so many haircuts in the barbering world, and many of them come to us, you know, they're all licensed professionals, they're educated, they've done the service. It's things that we do that make these differently, and they do listen to a fellow barber who is at a level that they want to be at. And these barbers that we're sending out, as Jim alluded to, they're part of our family. They're vets for a reason. They love the brand and they're successful in what they do. And oftentimes they love the opportunity to share that. So although it's teaching, it's really not teaching. It's more of imparting the passion that we know will work for others to be able to be successful within our brand. And it's a nice perk, and it's fun, and it gets them out of behind the chair, because a lot of times they do get a little burned out and they want something different. It's hard to give somebody something different in a barbershop. You know, it's not a salon where, well, if you want to go do this station for a while, you can go try that. It's always, you know, this is your chair, this is your home, and they love it, but this gives them a little break and it lets them be an ambassador, which we need that as well. So we're building together that symbiotic relationship, and it's really been very successful, and I hope it just continues to grow. These are people that have been with us for a long time. It's fun.
You know, you're right, Stacy. I can tell a new store opening that we've got barbers making six figures, and they'll kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, he's you know, trying to convince me to continue to work here.
Right.
But if we bring a barber in, they tell them that, and it's true.
Here's how I do it.
Whole different reception. You know, and he'll tell the story about, you know, I started at V's, I was 2 years out of barber school. I listened to Mr. V, I listened to my owner, and I adopted these things and followed the rules as far as how to treat people. And now I've got all this money. And a lot of our barbers, they're living on their tips. They don't even touch their paycheck because their tips are so profound, they're just so lucrative that that's what they live off. God, you know, when I started, I thought the average barber would make about 25 grand a year. Man, was I wrong. You can make as much money as you want if you do things right.
Well, thank you both very much. I appreciate you sharing your way that you celebrate your people, and I think there's a lot of ideas for other owners in there.
Great, we had fun.
Always happy to help. It's always good to talk to you.
You too. Thank you both. Appreciate it.
Bye.